Rene Robertson is P1. John Astrup from New Zealand is second. Mark Scott from Norway is third. Max Shepard from United Kingdom is P4. Brian Patterson is P5. Neil Hancock is 6th. David Forsyth from Ireland is P7. David Kelsall is 8th. Richard Ogden is 9th. Connor McKee from Norway is P10. Mikołaj Lawinski from Poland is 11th. Glenfield from United Kingdom is P12. Rene Robertson is first. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Max Shepard is P4. Max Shepard is now P3. Rene Robertson is third. Rene Robertson passed Max Shepard for second. Mark Scott in Quebec corner is fourth. Neil Hancock is sixth. Brian Patterson is P9. Brian Patterson passed David Forsyth for 8th. David Forsyth is P9. Richard Ogden is 10th. Mark Scott in turn 1 is 4th, 0.2 behind Rene Robertson. Neil Hancock in Clayton corner is 7th. Best lap is a 1:42.041. 3.450 off the fastest lap. Brian Patterson is P8, 0.1 behind Neil Hancock. Max Shepard on lap 2 is P2, 0.4 behind John Astrup. Glenfield in Mario Andretti straightaway is P6, 0.3 behind David Kelsall. Neil Hancock in the Essies is P8 battling Brian Patterson. David Forsyth is 9th, 0.3 behind Neil Hancock. John Astrop in Clayton Corner is P3, 0.1 behind Rene Robertson. John Astrop passed Rene Robertson for second. David Kelsall in Quebec Corner is P7, 0.1 behind Brian Patterson. David Kelsall is now 6th. John Astrop entering the pits is P12. Brian Patterson is 5th, 0.5 behind Glenn Field. Richard Ogden is P9, 0.7 behind David Forsyth. David Forsyth in White's Corner on lap 3 is P9 battling Richard Ogden. 25 minutes remaining in the session. David Forsyth passed Richard Ogden for P8. Connor McKee entering the pits is 12th. David Forsyth lost P8 to Richard Ogden. Rene Robertson in Quebec Corner is 2nd, 0.7 behind Max Shepard. Brian Patterson is 5th, 0.3 behind Glenn Field. Rene Robertson in Mario Andretti straightaway is P2, 0.3 behind Max Shepard. David Forsyth in Mario Andretti straightaway on lap 4 is 9th, 0.4 behind Richard Ogden. Rene Robertson in White's Corner is P2, 0.4 behind Max Shepard. David Forsyth in turn 1 is P9. Best lap is a 1:36.990. 3.337 off the fastest lap. Rene Robertson is P2, 0.1 behind Max Shepard. David Forsyth is P9, 0.3 behind Richard Ogden. Rene Robertson in Mario Andretti straightaway is 2nd. Best lap is a 1:33.768. 0.115 off the fastest lap. David Forsyth in Mario Andretti straightaway is P9, 0.2 behind Richard Ogden. Richard Ogden was 0.6 faster last lap. Max Shepard is P2, 0.2 behind Rene Robertson. Mark Scott is 3rd, 0.3 behind Max Shepard. Brian Patterson in Quebec corner is P5, 0.4 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson passed Glenfield for P4. Glenfield is 5th, 0.2 behind Brian Patterson. Max Shepard in Mario Andretti straightaway is 2nd, 0.5 ahead of Mark Scott. Mark Scott on lap 6 is 3rd, 0.4 behind Max Shepard. Mark Scott was 1.1 faster last lap. Richard Ogden is P9. Best lap is a 1:36.738. 3.085 off the fastest lap. David Forsyth from Ireland in White's corner is 9th, 0.1 behind Richard Ogden. Max Shepard in Quebec corner is P2, 0.3 behind Rene Robertson. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Mark Scott from Norway is P3, 0.3 behind Max Shepard. David Forsyth is P9, 0.3 behind Richard Ogden. Neil Hancock in Mario Andretti straightaway is 7th, 0.8 behind David Kelsall. David Forsyth in the Essies is P9, 0.1 behind Richard Ogden. Neil Hancock is 7th, 0.8 behind David Kelsall. Max Shepard in Moss corner is 2nd, 0.8 behind Rene Robertson. Glenfield is P5, 0.7 behind Brian Patterson. Max Shepard in turn 1 is P2, 0.8 behind Rene Robertson. Glenfield in Clayton corner on lap 9 is P5, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Richard Ogden is P9, 0.6 behind David Forsyth. Glenfield in Mario Andretti straightaway is 5th, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson is 4th, 0.5 ahead of Glenfield. Glenfield in turn 1 is P5, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Richard Ogden in White's corner is 9th, 0.9 behind David Forsyth. David Forsyth was 2.7 faster last lap. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Glenfield in Moss corner is P5, 0.4 behind Brian Patterson. Neil Hancock on lap 10 is 7th, 0.6 behind David Kelsall. Glenfield is P5, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Neil Hancock is 7th, 0.6 behind David Kelsall. Glenfield in Quebec corner is P5, 0.4 behind Brian Patterson. Neil Hancock is 7th, 0.6 behind David Kelsall. Glenfield in the Essies is 5th, 0.8 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson is P4, 0.2 ahead of Glenfield. Glenfield in Quebec corner is P5, 0.3 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson in Moss corner is P4, 0.6 ahead of Glenfield. Glenfield in the SEs is 5th, 0.7 behind Brian Patterson. David Forsyth is 9th, 0.4 behind Richard Ogden. Glenfield is P5, 0.6 behind Brian Patterson. David Forsyth in the SEs is 9th, 0.2 behind Richard Ogden. David Forsyth passed Richard Ogden for P8. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Glenfield in Mario Andretti straightaway is 5th, 0.9 behind Brian Patterson. Richard Ogden in Clayton Corner on lap 13 is P9, 0.5 behind David Forsyth. Richard Ogden was 4.1 faster last lap. Glenfield is P5, 0.6 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson is 4th, 0.9 ahead of Glenfield. Neil Hancock is 7th, 0.5 behind David Kelsall. Glenfield in the SEs is P5, 1.2 behind Brian Patterson. Neil Hancock is 7th, 0.2 behind David Kelsall. Neil Hancock passed David Kelsall for P6. David Kelsall is P7. David Kelsall exiting pits. David Forsyth from Ireland in the SEs is P9, 1.2 behind Richard Ogden. Brian Patterson in the SEs is 4th, 1.1 behind Mark Scott. David Forsyth is 9th, 0.5 behind Richard Ogden. Brian Patterson in Quebec corner is 4th, 1.2 behind Mark Scott. Mac Shepard is 2nd, 1.0 behind Rene Robertson. Five minutes remaining in the session. Brian Patterson in the SEs is P4, 0.7 behind Mark Scott. Richard Ogden in Quebec corner is 9th. Glenfield in Quebec corner is 5th. Best lap is a 1:34.077. 0.424 off the fastest lap. Richard Ogden in Mario Andretti straightaway is 9th, 0.5 behind David Forsyth. David Forsyth in White's corner is 9th. Best lap is a 1:36.726. 3.073 off the fastest lap. Glenfield is P5, 0.9 behind Brian Patterson. David Forsyth in Quebec corner is 9th, 0.3 behind Richard Ogden. Glenfield is P5, 1.3 behind Brian Patterson. Glenfield was 1.1 faster last lap. David Forsyth in the SEs is P9, 1.4 behind Richard Ogden. David Kelsall exiting pits. Glenfield is 5th, 1.2 behind Brian Patterson. David Forsyth is 9th, 0.4 behind Richard Ogden. Glenfield in Quebec corner is 5th, 1.0 behind Brian Patterson. David Forsyth in Mario Andretti straightaway is P9, 0.3 behind Richard Ogden. Glenfield is 5th, 1.1 behind Brian Patterson. Richard Ogden in turn 1 is P9, 0.2 behind David Forsyth. David Forsyth in Clayton corner is 9th, 0.1 behind Richard Ogden. David Forsyth was 1.1 faster last lap. Brian Patterson in Quebec corner is P4, 0.5 behind Mark Scott. Glenfield is P5, 1.6 behind Brian Patterson. Brian Patterson is P4, 0.3 behind Mark Scott. Richard Ogden in the Essies on lap 19 is P9, 0.3 behind David Forsyth. Brian Patterson in turn 1 is 4th. Best lap is a 1:33.940. 0.287 off the fastest lap. Richard Ogden in Clayton corner is 9th, 0.5 behind David Forsyth. Brian Patterson in turn 4 is 4th, 0.2 behind Mark Scott. Glenfield is P5, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Glenfield passed Brian Patterson for 4th. The leader has just finished the race. Rene Robertson finished first. Max Shepard finished P2. Mark Scott finished P3. Glenfield finished 4th. Brian Patterson finished 5th. David Forsyth finished 8th. Richard Ogden finished P9. Neil Hancock is 6th. Neil Hancock finished 6th. Mikołaj Lawinski is P10. Mikołaj Lański finished 10th. David Kelsall is 7th. David Kelsall finished P7.